Hey friends, Doc South here. Gee, let me back up. I think I'm a little too close. There, that's a little better. Ah, boy, let me move this here too so we're not in the window. Boy, you know the other day I've been thinking about this and making a blurb on the topic, and it just hit me today might be a good day. The At work, when I go into work, now I work at a supermarket here in North Jersey, and well, of course, I drive to work. I sit in my car, and when it's finally time for me to go in, maybe I listen to the radio for a little bit, or well, sometimes take a nap. People walk by wondering if I'm in there dead or something, but no, I'm just taking a nap. And but when eventually it's my time to go in, I always try to grab on my way, to the front door. I grab an errant shopping cart. There's usually one somewhere. Not everyone takes them to the little tent in the parking lot. Some just leave them for one reason or another. Maybe they're elderly and they just can't be pushing that thing too much. But I'll grab a shopping cart and just push it into the rack inside. Just inside the front door. And I got to thinking, it's a small thing to do. In fact, I could probably push two. Push one, pull another. If it comes to that, I do. If I do that every day when I go into work and when I go out for break, do it when I go back in. You're looking at something like 700 shopping carts brought in. So, well, 600 anyway. 600 shopping carts brought in every year. Now that's a lot of shopping carts. That's one less thing, one less extra chore for the cart guy. I don't know. It just seems like a nice thing to do. They've got more than enough to handle. They got to do all the trash containers outside, and they've got to gather up all the shopping baskets people sometimes carry, and they got other chores. Keep an eye on the parking lot. Pick up the litter. They're busy all day, and this just makes their day a little easier. Sometimes they're out in the rain or the extreme heat, extreme cold, pushing those babies through the snow. Oh, and I don't know. It's funny though. If you take the same thought to your own life and think of other things you can do, maybe at work, maybe wherever you might be, it kind of gets to be a pleasant little hobby, thinking of the different things that you can do to make someone else a little happier. In other words, a good deed, like the Boy Scouts do. I mean, really, you get right down to it. If everyone did that, we'd sooner or later some of those good deeds would come. We'd be the recipient of them. Yeah, it's in a way it's kind of I think it's a better way to go than to be out there thinking of ways to connive people and mess with them and all that. I don't know. It's it's You think there'd almost be gangs that would go out and do good deeds. Well, I guess there is a gang that does that, the Boy Scouts. You get right down to it. And maybe some church groups, but it's not a bad thought. Just kind of maybe keep track of some of the things you do. And you look back at the end of the year, after you've done this for about a year, and you'll say, doggone, I helped a lot of folks. And it gives you kind of a good feeling. And it gives them a good feeling too. It's kind of why I do these blurbs. They're kind of my good idea, my good deed to you, a good idea for a good deed. Just maybe in the course of a day, just come up with a few positive messages you can send out to your friends, or even just share with another friend. By the end of a year, you've done 300 or 400 of the darn things, and doggone, not bad, not bad. I'm just saying, might want to get busy on that and see what you can do. Yeah. It's a plan anyway, and it certainly doesn't hurt, and it kind of makes you feel good about yourself, but also it makes maybe someone who is really, really nailed is the recipient, you might just turn their life around. I know one time, and God knows I'm not made of money, but a guy was in the, I was near the end of the day, it was evening at the supermarket, and there was a guy going to buy, he was buying all sorts of baby food. And a young fella, a grown up, but a young grown up. And he goes to pay with his credit card, and the credit card's no good. It wouldn't go through. Imagine it was maxed out. And he got this real sick look on his face, like, oh, oh. and he's looking at all that baby food. He's trying to think of, he had like no cash. And you could say, well, see you, pal. Come back when you got some money. I whipped out my credit card and paid it for him. Now, again, he said he'd pay me back. Well, that was 2 years ago. I don't think that's going to happen. But I kind of knew that to begin with. But doggone, it was baby food. Didn't particularly want to see him out there with a kid, crying through the night because things were tough. You just do it. Heck, it was $40 well spent. It's it's if you get into this habit sooner or later, like I said, someone's going to stop for you when you got the flat tire on the highway and no jack in the car. Okay, yeah. Sooner or later, this kind of stuff, what goes around comes around. I just thought I'd say. Anyway, catch you later. Thank you, and God bless. Bye now.